It was a very rainy day and Max was stuck inside their treehouse. They had just finished an intense game of Dungeons, Dragons, and their friends had all gone home. On the other side, Max found a long hallway with many doors along it. And if Max stared directly into the hole, they could see a faint image of the long hallway. Taking a deep breath, Max jumped into the unknown. When they landed, they realized they were inside the same hallway from before. The faint sounds of whispering could be heard. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. The next door had a simple maze drawn on it. Focusing on the walls, Max saw that every 3 steps to the right, there was a sharp turn to the north. Carefully following this pattern, Max made their way to the end of the maze without touching the walls. When they reached the end, the door slid open and Max stepped through. Max took a deep breath, remembering the feeling of accomplishment after solving a difficult maze. As Max explored the library, they came across a grand piano in the center of the room. But what was the answer? The answer was time. As they sat down to play, the notes from the book seemed to guide their fingers across the keys. After playing a few chords, a hidden door opened behind the piano, revealing a staircase that spiraled upwards. When they pushed the door open, Max was met with the same white room and the single chair. On the table beside the chair was a clock with a keyhole in the center. Max knew what they had to do. They stepped onto the door and began to navigate the twists and turns. At the top of the stairs, Max found another door, but this time it was slightly ajar. As they approached, Max could hear the whispers again. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Max hesitated for a moment, wondering if they should keep going, but the urgency in the voices made them want to run away. After a few moments, Max found themselves at the center of the maze with the keyhole directly in front of them. Max started to feel a bit scared. Why were those people in such a rush? What was behind that door? Was it a portal? What was on the other side of the hallway? And why were those people in such a hurry? Max decided to investigate. Max stepped up to the door and read the first one aloud. What has an eye but cannot see? A light bulb appeared above Max's head. A needle, they said out loud. When Max regained their vision, they were back in their treehouse. The rain had stopped and a rainbow stretched across the sky. Looking around, Max noticed that the clock was missing and in its place was a note that read, "Time is a precious resource. Don't waste it." As soon as the words left their mouth, the door clicked open, revealing a white room with a single chair in it. Max walked through the door and sat down. Suddenly, the door slammed shut and the walls dissolved into a swirling vortex of colors. Each door had a puzzle on it, like a riddle, a maze, or a pattern to continue the hallway. And at the end, Max could see another door, except this one was slightly ajar. As Max got closer, they could hear voices coming from behind the door, whispering, "Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up." Max turned around, but the door had vanished and they were back in the treehouse. Had they imagined the whole thing? Maybe. Max was getting bored sitting in the treehouse all by themselves, so they went to their secret passageway that led to the outside of the treehouse. But today the passageway wasn't secret. There was a door there that had never been there before. Max cautiously approached the door and pushed it open, but then Max noticed something strange. On the wall where the door had been, there was now a small hole. They carefully dug away the wood paneling to reveal a dark opening. The first puzzle was a series of riddles. When Max regained their vision, they realized they were still in the hallway. Taking a moment to catch their breath, Max remembered the key to solving mazes. Look for patterns and try to memorize them. On the other side was a vast library filled with thousands of books. But instead of words, the pages were filled with musical notes. As Max climbed the stairs, they noticed that each step had a different pattern of holes drilled into it. Suddenly, the door swung open and Max was met with a blinding light. Then everything went black. Max walked over to the secret passageway, hoping that whatever was on the other side would make sense. They needed to find the last answer, the answer that would allow them to escape the treehouse and return to their own time.